Hi everybody, welcome back to Awesome Chats. We're, talking with entrepreneurs once in a while around the world to learn about them, the impact of COVID-19, and see if we can provide them any resources they need. I have Reema Mufti here, who is a freelance makeup artist. She's one of the most fun and hilarious people that I know. She went from being a banker to starting her own business as a freelancer. So I just want to ask a couple of questions and see how she's doing in Pakistan. So hi Reema, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Mavish. It's a pleasure.
No problem. So tell me a little bit about the journey you took from being a banker to a makeup artist.
It's been an interesting journey, actually. I would like to start from the fact that we really don't have much career counseling options in our country when we are in our academic institutes. But back in our days, we just didn't know. Like, we were clueless about what we wanted from our lives and what was our calling, that the word they use these days. Like, we didn't know what our calling was. But I just thought I was maybe too free of a soul, and I couldn't take that binding of a 9 to 5 job and all that monotony. And there was something else that I was born to do. I was pretty much clueless when I quit banking. I just knew that wasn't my cup of tea, but I really didn't know what I was quitting it for. So I'd be very honest there. So it all started basically in fun and games. So I just started watching tutorials, started buying more. We didn't have access to a lot of products back in those days. I'm talking about a decade ago or so. We didn't have access to a lot of products, especially living in Peshawar, and nobody was into so many things. Nobody knew anything. So then I started contacting some of my cousins. I started getting stuff from the US or Canada or London, whosoever would be coming. I would ask them to bring something or the other for me, which I would see in the tutorials. And
Very
which
resourceful.
really helped. Yeah. People have been very, very nice to me, to the extent that when that Urban Decay famous naked palette got out in the market and then it got short, I was so anxious, and I had booked it. And then as soon as I got the email that it's available again, I called my cousin up in the US and I said, you have to get up right now and order it right now. I don't want to miss out on it. So that kind of passion, and like, so she got up and ordered and all of that. So and then those products and things were very unique for Peshawar's market at that time. So people would see those things with me and they would be like, oh my God, like, you're seriously into it, man. Like, the way you make efforts towards getting those things, and like playing around with them and being excited about it. So that gave me, that stimulated my thought process. I wouldn't say I was born with the thought of being a makeup artist, but I was born to be a makeup artist. I am sure of that.
That's awesome. So so what's like the key things for people to remember when it comes to word of mouth marketing?
I would say as the term sums it up itself, by word of mouth means that is absolutely no margin of error, I would say. When you are using social media or some other medium as a tool to project your work, you can always edit it. You can always do stuff with it and play around with it to make it look better or the way you like it, and it may not look the same in person. But by word of mouth means that it is absolutely, you get what you see. That includes everything from the makeup outlook to my behavior to the customer service they're being offered. Or with me, I think what worked was the fact that I would sit the client down. I would ask for pictures of their dress from before, and like, we would properly discuss what went on there in their head. And if I thought it didn't look nice on them, I would suggest otherwise, and we would reach a common, like, harmonious ground to where we wanted something to be.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting because I think when you look at a wedding, it's such a personal thing, right? Like you have to make sure the person is extremely happy, because if you're not, the negative marketing is going to be, pretty bad.
I mean, it just might sound unreal, but I haven't had a very terrible experience, to be honest. But like, I'm blessed like that. Sometimes I do what is funny in our culture is that everybody wants to look very, very fair. Like there's a thing in everybody's head, which is kind
Fair
of
and
funny to
lovely.
me because yeah, everybody wants especially the brides when they come, they're like, oh, we want a tone or two fairer from my tone. And sometimes it just becomes difficult to explain to them. It's not really possible, and it might end up looking gray on your face, but they just don't get it. They want to look fair and fair. So sometimes that does become a challenge. But to be honest, I haven't had a bridezilla moment as such. No bride throwing any fits, thankfully. But sometimes they do like interrupt in between when I've just done their face and just the brows, and they're like, "Oh, we look so weird. Like, what is it gonna end up looking like?" And I'm like, "Just be patient with it. And this is something fixable. It's not plastic surgery. We can always fix if you don't like it."
It seems like you love what you do and you're very passionate about it. So what's the secret to being a really awesome makeup artist?
The first and foremost secret of every profession or every field is to be very passionate about it. I think I was reading Steve Jobs' quote somewhere on the internet a day or so ago that the only way to do your job well is to be passionate about it. So if you're passionate about something, it just makes it another ball game altogether. So if you like something, if you love your work, the money you earn from it is just an added perk for you. The satisfaction it brings is far bigger, far greater than the financial benefit you derive out of it. So the key is basically passion is the only word that comes to my mind. You have to be passionate. You need to know you need to know your calling. You need to know your passion, and then you just need to blindly follow it, and you will be successful. I have no doubts about it.
Awesome. Okay.
So are you, if you ask me with respect to COVID in particular, it affected my work also. And the problem was that it was an unforeseen situation for everybody. So we just had to come up with instant solutions to counter the problem at hand. There were issues with clients canceling bookings last minute. There were issues with me returning the advances that are usually not reversible, or we don't return it. But considering the situation, we had to be like, me and my team had to be more considerate about it. And the customers, you had to accommodate the customers. And the advances, for example, if we returned them, we didn't know if we were going to get those bookings back when the wedding season would be back on, or if they had entirely changed their mind at all. But I was being very considerate about it.
I've read that there's been a lot of rise in Zoom weddings and stuff. So is it that people in Pakistan were actually hosting weddings, or were they actually just doing online weddings and they just needed makeup for that?
There have been very small weddings. There have been very but the brides, nevertheless, it's a special day. They want to dress up, they want to look nice. So no matter what the magnitude of the wedding was, the bride always looked like a bride. So people did get married in very small setups. There were no wedding halls that were operational. There were no gatherings were being allowed.
Okay, no, I can definitely see, and I feel like you kind of adapted around it and kind of just worked
Exactly.
with people because people still want to get married. So
Yeah, that was the only way to go. Initially, I was also of the view that people maybe should wait around, but it had started to become such an uncertain situation that you get to know that some things are really not all that important. All that pomp and show maybe is not needed, and all you need to do is get married to the person you like, and then look nice in the event, and that is all manageable during COVID also.
what brands do you like?
Love to use MAC, Urban Decay, Bobby Brown, very nice.
Mm.
L'Oreal has some amazing stuff.
Yeah.
I
So
love L'Oreal.
what is it about these brands? If you could just summarize that you do like.
Main quality that these brands that I've mentioned has is the fact that they blend with our Asian skin tones. The brands that usually people idealize are not made for us. I'm very glad that some of the local vendors or salon chains have come up with their own makeup lines that cater to our specific Asian skin tones or our skin types and the textures, which like people didn't understand before. I would always get frustrated about this fact that I would get very high end stuff and I would just think that it just wouldn't work for us. Like this Naked 3 palette, Naked 1 by Urban Decay, Naked 2 by Urban Decay, all were very good for our skin tones. But when Naked 3 came out, I was lost. I was like, these are very rosy golds and pinky, and they just won't show up on our skin tones. So for me, whatever works for us in our culture on our specific clientele is obviously the winning brand for me, and that
Okay.
makes Mac very prominent for me.
Mhm.
Mac's foundations and stuff is very Asian skin friendly, and little did I know in banking that that was what I actually loved doing, and colors were was all it was about for me.
What's kind of your top makeup tip for our viewers?
My top most makeup tip that there is something that is always being asked of me, that why do my eyeshadows just smoke up and like they just disappear on my eyes, and I cannot stress enough on the fact of using an eye primer. Like, use an eye primer, like no matter what, use an eye primer.
Instagram stories are a great way to kind of, tell people about why you are so good at what you do, because freelance is really about your personal skills, right, more than anything else, because you're selling your skill set. So I would suggest, like, do a combination of Instagram stories, figure out what are things that makeup artists do that you can promote. You can promote a brand, you can have partnerships with some businesses who are selling makeup. Like, there are a lot of people who make their own makeup as well. You could promote
Yeah,
their
yeah.
makeup on your page. Even if you don't have thousands of followers, they may not either, so you could still leverage each other's business. And at the very least, you have customers that you cater to every week or every day, and you can simply take makeup from them and give it to them and use it on them, and just like that. So something just to think about is create your own social media strategy. What parting advice would you give women who are entering and breaking away from their field, or just wanting to do an entrepreneurial venture and they don't know what to do? What advice would you give them?
My only advice to them, it might sound a bit bookish, but the first and foremost and most important advice is to just believe in yourselves and believe in your dreams. If it sounds right to you, it is right. It is most certainly right for you. Whatever you feel is your calling is what you need to follow. So just first, that's what I began the interview with, that there is no career counseling being done here. People don't really sit down and discuss what they want to be in life. If women, our women have a lot of potential. It is really surprising. They're far more hardworking, without meaning to sound like a feminist. It's not a feminist thing at all. Our women are full of potential, and they want to do a lot of things. They are very progressive. I would say they're more progressive than men, and they want to start their own ventures. There's so many young girls who are doing their baking businesses. They're making amazing stuff. They have lovely Instagram pages. I would like to learn a lot from them. And the only way to go about is to just know what you like and just get after it and make it your passion, make it your dream, make it your bread and butter, and everything will fall into place.
Okay, no, that makes sense. Great advice, thank you. Okay, everybody, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and let us know what your thoughts are so we can keep going with these conversations. And thanks again for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Mavish. It was an absolute pleasure. I really enjoyed,
No
especially during
problem.
the COVID times when we can like brainstorm a lot of stuff.
I
I am ready
ready
to
to
unleash
my
my
inner
inner
awesome.
awesome. Yeah.